You want a great movie about hitmen? Here's one from writer-director Martin McDonagh. It's a 2008 movie, In Bruges. Let's talk about it, coming up next. Alright, In Bruges is a 2008 movie by writer-director Martin McDonagh. He's Irish, the brother of John Michael McDonagh, and both of them in the last 10, 15, 20 years have done really great work. I especially like Martin McDonagh. I think all three movies of his are great. I'll eventually talk about each one of them in this series. In Bruges is his first movie. It may be his weakest, but I still really like it. On rewatching, it is always funny. It is always profound. That mixture of comedy and profundity is very hard to do. But I find that both McDonagh brothers, but particularly Martin, I think does it really well. And that may be because I personally favor his sort of angry, more aggressive, and yet more religiously charged scripts. This movie is about two Irish hitmen who do a job in England. They get in trouble, and so they have to flee and go to Bruges, Belgium for 2 weeks. Their boss, Harry, sends them there, and so they're just told to lay low and be tourists in the sleepy Belgium town. There's a great dynamic here between the characters. Ray is played by Colin Farrell, the young hitman who's only ever done one job, and that's the one he sort of botched. The other is an older hitman played by the great Irish actor Brendan Gleeson. They're a bit of an odd couple, wonderful opening where one, Ken, wants to tour the town, loves the historical aspect of Bruges, the other, Ray, is quite bored by it. Along with the creepy scenario that always gets me, that you're gonna have to board up with another dude in a hotel room in close quarters.
We've got to stay here until he rings. Well, what if he doesn't ring for 2 weeks? Then we stay here for 2 weeks.
For 2 weeks? In fucking Bruges? In a room like this? With you?
So these two are supposed to spend 2 weeks together, and Ray is terribly bored. But he wanders down the streets, and he wanders onto a movie set in which he's fascinated by one, a dwarf working on the set of the movie, to a beautiful blonde woman on the set. That sort of charges his enthusiasm for the town of Bruges and the opportunity of being there. But Ray and Ken, as hitmen, have some very dark secrets. And I will not spoil those, although they're told pretty early in the movie. Ray in particular is living with a heavy burden of guilt. And although there's a massive dose of humor, particularly in the opening, say, hour of the movie, you know Ray is laboring under it. You know he's actually using some of that humor in order to salve or to heal over, maybe even just stop the bleeding, stop the pain of his guilty wounds, his guilty conscience. Now, eventually, because of some serious trouble, their boss has to come to Belgium to oversee them, to take care of them, the boss being played by the great English actor Ralph Fiennes. Each of these hitmen are going to actually experience a choice. Should we continue to live? Or, because of our massive guilt, because of what we do for a living, should we kill ourselves? Should we follow through with a job to obey orders? Should we adhere to our principles? Or should we break the rules, break the principles, and do something else? What's fascinating about the script is each of them are heavily guilty, each of the three main characters, but each stands or represents some particular virtue or a set of virtues. Now, first I'll tell you, I love this movie. I think it's great because on rewatching it, I am always laughing at it. Very rarely does that happen. I only have a small stable of movies which I can watch repeatedly that make me laugh. It's hard to do humor that's fresh upon re-seeing it 2, 3, 5 times. In Bruges, because of the great script by McDonagh and the wordplay, the word choice, very, very funny, very well done.
Coming up. What's up there? The view.
The view of what? The view down here? I can see that from down here. Ray, you're about the worst tourist in the whole world. Ken, I grew up in Dublin. I love Dublin. If I'd grown up on a farm and was retarded, Bruges might impress me, but I didn't, so it doesn't. But
as I said, the comedy is within a framework of guilt, sin, and murder. So this movie is as weighty as you want to make it. It's about everything, life and death, obeying principles, breaking the law, seeking justice, giving mercy, having blood guilt, having a terrible past, not being able to get rid of either one of those. What's also wonderful about this movie is its setting. Bruges, because of this movie, has become sort of a tourist town. And the movie actually sets out to make Bruges into a fairy tale tourist destination. It actually says that at the beginning of the movie, that that's what this place is. And then the movie challenges itself to do that, and then it creates the setting. It's a wonderfully shot movie, very well done in Bruges itself. Bruges, as it goes on, takes on multiple meanings for each of these characters, particularly Ray. At first, he calls it a boring shithole. Then it becomes a little bit of a fantasy land as he meets the blonde woman and the midget. But he also tours the museums with Ken, and they start to talk about Bruges as a purgatory or as a hell. They're highly influenced by the medieval art, the overall atmosphere, which, as Ken tells us, Bruges is the last medieval city really in Belgium. It makes the city highly gothic, while on the one hand it's Christmas time, on the other hand it's a deep, dark, shadowy place, not unlike the city of Vienna in the great classic movie The Third Man. In this wonderful Christmas atmosphere, McDonagh knows his theology. Because usually in Christmas movies, and here's what's wonderful about In Bruges, Christmas movies are about happy, joyful feelings actually related to partying and buying stuff. McDonagh knows this, that the Christmas story for Christians is a big celebration, yes, but it's also about fear and terror. And it's about bringing up the past and recognizing that one is guilty of deep, dark sins and even of blood guilt of murdering other people. If you're not an assassin, if you've not actually murdered somebody, McDonagh knows this, you've actually murdered somebody in your heart by hating them or being angry at them. And all this talk about boys and small people in this movie, I don't want to spoil anything. There's a lot of that, that's tied to the Christmas story, where actually the Joseph, Mary, and Jesus characters had to flee because Herod, the ruler at the time, while the Christmas story was actually happening, actually began slaughtering kids. Yeah, so Christmas has this added baggage of having the slaughter of the innocents or that historical episode attached to it. And I think this movie, along with using the Gothic cathedrals, knows that very well. Thus for Ken and Ray, Bruges is at one time a fairy tale world, but it's also a hellscape. And by the way, McDonagh also knows fairy tales because, those old classic European fairy tales, so many of them are dark, deep, and disturbing. And I find that the final, say, 10 minutes of this movie really take the whole movie up a notch for me. This voiceover in the very end, it's very ambiguous, interestingly used. This movie is partly about life, but also the afterlife. I don't think this is a top-tier great movie for me, but because I can rewatch it, and I probably will be able to for the rest of my life, and laugh at it, and find it profound, to me, In Bruges is a great movie. And once you've watched In Bruges, go watch McDonagh's other movies, 7 Psychopaths and 3 Billboards. Because he was a playwright turned director, he's super powerful. A great rich playwright getting to envision his scripts in a movie. Well, there's something really powerful to me about that. Because movies start on the page and then they get worked into the visuals and the sound elements. And so he, as an auteur, Martin McDonagh that is able to do all 3. And if you're female, I'd really be interested in your comments because I found this to be sort of a guy-oriented movie and I wonder how females take this movie. And if you haven't, please subscribe to my channel to support this channel and what we're doing here. Thank you very much. Have a great day.